Hey guys, it's Miss Richardson here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Welcome to a new week. And so this week we're going to focus on just a few more fifth grade standards, and then we're going to move on to sixth grade standards next week after Labor Day. All right, so let's get started, please. And as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. All right, so we're going to be talking about the metric system and customary system. So one thing we do have to do, whether we use either of these systems, is we have to convert sometimes. So if you've ever helped your mom or grandpa out in the kitchen and you had to measure using cups or ounces or whatever it is that you are using, sometimes you have to convert different measurements. And so it's important to be able to know how to do that. So that's what we're talking about today. All right, so here's those standards and our learning targets. So there is a Brain Pop video you're welcome to watch. I'm not going to take the time to do that right now. But in order to watch these Brain Pop videos, you do have to go through your launch point and open Brain Pop. And then once it's open in a browser, you can come back here and click on the video and it'll show you the video. All right, so the two main measurement systems in the world are the customary system, which is what we use here in the United States, and the metric system. So when we measure, what do we measure? We measure capacity or volume, we measure length, distance, and we measure weight or mass. So the customary system are the words over here on the left side of this chart in blue. So you guys are used to talking about miles and inches and feet. And when you cook, you're using cups and ounces. And when you're going to the store buying some drinks, you might buy a gallon or a liter or 2 liters of a Coca-Cola. On the right side of the chart here, this is called the metric system. You guys have probably converted these before in the past, and maybe you did it last year in 4th grade. Most of the world uses the metric system. There's just a very, very few countries that actually use the customary service system, and the United States is one of them. All right, so you know from previous grade levels that you can measure the same object with different units of measurements. For example, I can measure a pencil in centimeters. I can measure that same pencil in millimeters. I can measure a tree in feet, or I could also measure a tree height in yards. So you can go back and forth between these measurements. Instead of always having to measure something multiple times to see its measurements in different units, we have a way to take one measurement and convert it to the other measurements. Convert means to change form. So in the case of measurement, it means to change from one unit to another. So when does this happen in real life? So for example, I took my son to the doctor and they said he was 3 feet 9 inches tall. We were going to Disney World and he has to be 44 inches to ride the Avatar Flight of Passage ride in Animal Kingdom. I can convert the feet to inches to see if he is tall enough. So that's an important skill to have. What about if you are moving to a new house? I need new curtains for a window. All I have is a ruler. I measure my current curtains in feet to see how much fabric I need, and it was 9 feet long. When I go to the store, they measure fabric in yards, and you have to be able to convert feet into yards in order to see how much fabric you need. So once again, a very important skill. You might be reading a recipe and it says it calls for 2 pints of heavy whipping cream, but when I get to the store, the bottle says it's 1 quart. I can convert my pints into quarts to see if 1 bottle is enough. So these are all real life examples of when we need to convert. So let's look at the customary measurement system, which is what we use here in the United States. So look at this map. Only the places in red uses this. So all of the United States plus little tiny Burma and Liberia. That's it. Everyone else uses the metric system. This summer I went to Germany and I rode on the Autobahn. And of course, in my brain, I'm wondering how fast we're going in miles per hour, because on the Autobahn in Germany, there is not a speed limit. So I looked down at the speedometer and I saw that he was going 120. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're going 120 miles per hour. But really, we were going 120 kilometers per hour, which is still almost 100 miles an hour. But when I first looked, we were actually not going as fast as I thought we were, because they use the metric system, and I was thinking of the customary system. All right, so like I said before, customary system, we're used to using these words: inches, feet, yards, miles. In weight, we weigh in ounces, pounds, tons. And when we're talking about filling something up, like a gallon of milk, we use gallons, quarts, pints, and fluid ounces. All right, so an important thing that you do need to memorize these lengths, units of length. So if you don't know that there's 12 inches in a foot, or if you don't know there's 3 feet in a yard, so on and so forth, that's something that you really do need to memorize, because you will need to know those things throughout life, no matter what age you are. So 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. There's a saying you could think about when you go get a mile, you need to go get 5 tomatoes. 5 tomatoes. So that'll help you remember there's 5,280 feet in a mile. That might come handy one day. So I would write these down. Do you have an agenda? I would write these units down in my agenda. I would write this chart down. I would write that you need to know there's 16 ounces in a pound, and there's 2,000 pounds in a ton. You need to know that. And for capacity, you need to know there's 8 ounces in a cup, 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart, and 4 quarts in a gallon. And on actually Monday's assignment is for you to create your own gallon bot or gallon man. Okay, so here's a good example of what yours could look similar to, but you're going to create your own. It's a Google Doc assignment. And so basically this helps you just have a visual on 1 gallon is made up of 4 quarts. So this gallon man is made up, his arms are 4 quarts. There's 2 pints per quart. So the total number of pints in a gallon is 2, 4, 6, 8. And then for every pint, there's 2 cups. So you can see for 1 whole gallon, there are 4, 8, 12, 16 cups in a gallon. So if you will draw or make this gallon man and then use it, it'll help you mentally be able to see this in your mind. So if I asked you how many cups are in a quart, well, you'd find this quart, you'd go down here to cups, and you'd say, oh, there's 4 cups in one, 4 cups in 1 quart. But when I'm asking about the entire gallon, you have to look at all of Gallon Man and know that there's 16 cups in a gallon. Okay, so you're going to make your own Gallon Man. That's today's assignment for Monday. All right, once again, here is customary time with our actual time. You need to know there's 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. Okay. All right, so this is an important rule for you to remember. If you are going from a larger unit to a smaller one, you need to multiply. If you're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, you are going to divide. For example, if I say, okay, there's 3 feet, how many inches is that? Well, a foot is longer than an inch. So since you're going from large to small, we're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, the rule says we're multiplying. So I need to know how many inches are in 1 foot. Since there's 12 inches in 1 foot, we are going to multiply 3 feet times 12 inches. And the answer is there's 36 inches in 3 feet. All right, another example, if I'm asking you how many tons is 4,000 pounds? Well, pounds is a lot lighter than 1 ton. So when you're going from a smaller unit to a large unit, the rule says you're going to divide. So smaller to larger, we're dividing. And so you need to know how many pounds are in 1 ton. Since we know now, because you wrote down the charge, there's a 2,000 pounds in 1 ton, we will divide 4,000 by 2,000, and the answer up here is 2 tons. 2 tons is equal to 4,000 pounds. All right, so here's our boxes again. We're going to look at our customary system again. The question is, how many yards are in 33 feet? So we know 33 feet, so we're going from small to yards, a larger. What is the rule from small to larger? Small to larger, we're going to multiply. So we need to find on our chart how many feet are in 1 yard. We're going from small to large. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to divide. I said it backwards. We're going to go from small to larger. So the directions say to divide. So we're taking our 33 feet. We're dividing it by 3 because there's 3 feet in every 1 yard. And so the answer is 11 yards. Okay. All right, what about this one? How many ounces are in 4 pounds? So we start with 4 pounds. So we start with a larger measurement and we're going down to ounces. So we're going from large to small, And the directions say from large to small, we're going to multiply. So since we know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound, we're going to multiply 16 times 4, the 4 pounds here, and we know that there's 64 ounces in 4 pounds. How many quarts are in 6 gallons? So remember, gallon man, the biggest part of him is the gallon, so 6 gallons. So gallons is bigger than quarts. So we're going from large unit to smaller unit, large unit to smaller unit. We know, according to this chart here, there are 4 quarts in a gallon. 4 quarts in a gallon. So what are we going to do? We're going to multiply 4 quarts times 6 gallons. And the answer is there's 24 quarts in 6 gallons. So we multiplied. All right. So you guys, I want you to look at the question. I want you to pause the video and I want to see if you can answer it before you see the answer on the video. All righty. What about if you have 6 yards, how many inches is that? Have you figured it out? 6 yards, how many inches is that? You're going to multiply, and the answer is 216 inches. Did you guys get it right? All right, next one. If you have 128 ounces, how many pounds is that? So we're going from we're going from small unit to big unit, small to big. So what are we going to do? We're going to divide. So if there are 16 ounces in 1 pound, what is the answer? Yep, 8 pounds. How'd you guys do? All right, 9 quarts to how many pints? So there's how many pints are in a quart? There's 2 pints in 1 quart. So we're going from large to smaller unit. Large to smaller unit means we're going to multiply. So what did you guys get? 18 pints. Very good. All right, so here are 3 real world situations. I want you to read them. I want you to pause the video, and I want you to see if you know the answer before I show it to you. All right, the first one's about the sun being 3 feet 8 inches tall. It has to be 44 inches to ride the ride. Is he tall enough? The second one is the information about the curtains. And they want to know how much fabric they need in yards. And the last one is the recipe. So let's look at the answers. Do you know what they are yet? All right, my son is 45 inches tall. So guess what? He is tall enough for this ride, only by 1 inch. So lucky son. All right, what about the second one? Did you guys figure out they have to buy 3 yards of fabric? And then the last one, 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. So 1 bottle of whipping cream is enough. So I bet you guys got those right. I'm sure you did. All right, so that's the video for today. So you're going to make your gallon man for today. Let me know if you have any questions about that. And then tomorrow and Wednesday, you'll be doing more exercises, actually converting. All right, you guys have a great day, and I will check on you guys later.